We know the government's direction has moved towards supporting people with their health and well-being through a focus on wellness and enablement, and that's about helping people to be the best they can be, to be as independent as they can be within the limitations of the difficulties they're having. Now, I would be looking at, I've worked with a number of clients in the past whereby they've perhaps been saying, look, I'm really having trouble with my meals. Traditionally I'd like something like a Meals on Wheels service. And we've talked through different options with them because they'd actually like to be able to cook and prepare meals at different times, and by taking away from someone, by giving them Meals on Wheels, they then don't get the opportunity to perhaps go out shopping. So I've talked through options, and some people have said, well, maybe the best option is for me to go and purchase a slow cooker and things like that. Or with other people, we've adapted some of the kitchen to enable them to actually do some of the cooking themselves. So you could say that's likely around a wellness approach. I've also worked with people with visual impairment where they've said, look, what I'd really like to be able to do is to get back to doing some of the shopping again and getting back to the library and getting out to my social groups. Now, rather than traditionally providing someone to take them to those groups or to go shopping with them, from a visual impairment, what we have done in the past is look at teaching people to do what we call mobility and transport training, and we've also provided things like GPSs, so that they can actually find their own way somewhere, and that the little machine has spoken to them and saying where they've got, where they're going, and guided them. We might have practiced the routes with them, but what we've done is enable that person to go out when they want to and where they want to independently without the supports of an agency. And for me, that's sort of enabling someone to live the life they want to live. I think if you're going to look at how you sort of might have a conversation with a consumer, I would always be summarising the discussion that we have. I'd always be reflecting back to the consumer and saying things like, so you seem to be having some difficulties in this area, but you seem to be able to managing some of this. So how would you like to be supported? Or do you have any ideas about how you might resolve some of these problems for yourself? And how should we work together to do that? So I would be spending most of my time reflecting back to them what they've been discussing and helping them come to some resolution for the problems that they're having. Many consumers have certain expectations of home and community care and packaged care, and that's often guided by what their GPs think, what their families think, and what organisations think. So you've got to spend a lot of time listening to a person and finding out about their history, how they want their life to look like, and then talking to them about how they would think about resolving their problems. How would they want to go about it? And if they were sort of thinking around, well, I'd like to get back to going out to the book club, I'd like to get back to swimming, I'd love to sort of go out and meet my friends for coffee. Ask them to say, how would you want to do that? Who would you want to support you? Do you actually want us as an organisation to support you? Or are there other ways of doing that? And how would you go about that? What would be the best option for you? So I think you've got to spend a lot of time exploring with the consumer themselves what they would want to see in their life. Do they really want to rely on you as a provider so that then it's done at certain times when the providers are available? Or if they want to be doing it at weekends and in the evenings and they want to do things spontaneously, that they have options to do so because they've worked out those problems for themselves. They've worked out the solutions.